you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's for sure. They're going to make sure of it. You ready to jump down this rabbit hole? Follow along. We'll be back in a minute. What's up, everyone? I'm gonna see what I can do on the editing to make this a little more exciting, but the main thing is I'm gonna try to keep this interesting and maybe not too try not to go on too long about it. But are we ready to really jump down this rabbit hole? So we have even if it's a little boring, I invite you to just give it a listen and hear me out. Okay, first of all, we got plenty enough people taking interest in the truth, right? And the truth behind this stuff. We're being lied to, conspiracies, stuff like that, right? And the term is jump down that rabbit hole, right? You don't this rabbit hole. Oh, that's a deep rabbit hole, right? Let's jump down the rabbit hole for real. And are you ready for it? Let's take a minute to understand something. We have our top elites, like you got Klaus Schwab, telling us we will own nothing and be happy. We will eat the bugs, right? And the population's out of control. And you got people like Gates, to saying that we need to making their plans to depopulate us, right? And there surely is. Now, my problem is when you go to look up some of this stuff on your mainstream sources, they want to sit there and tell us that it's all a conspiracy theory, right? Oh, those are nutcase conspiracy theorists saying this stuff. When the fact of the matter is that it's fact. It's not conspiracy theories. It's conspiracy fact, right? And just saying that alone, you get take a chance in getting kicked off of whatever platform you're on, right? Like right here, we're on YouTube, right? So we got to be careful what we say anymore. We're not even allowed to talk about this stuff, and the stuff that they right out admit to us, they come right out and say whatever they want to us and tell us exactly what their plans are, exactly what they're going to do. And then we're being told, oh, you don't know what you heard. That's just a conspiracy theory, right? It's a fact that they, not just Gates, but several other billionaires have come out saying we're overpopulated and we need to depopulate the earth, right? And it's a fact that Klaus Schwab, as I call him, did in fact say you will own nothing and be happy, and we need a reset, right? And you can't even say the full term and get away with it. And we will eat the bugs, right? And then mainstream sources are helping them cover that up and say, oh, well, that's just a conspiracy theory. It's a fact. Go on their website and go watch their own videos from the WEF, World Economic Forum, right? Watch their videos and you'll see it plain as day. And, they're just throwing it in your face. And that's what I'm talking about. They're throwing it in our face and telling us what they're going to do. And when do we start believing them? Because let's take on you will own nothing and be happy, right? So as I go in through this, it's my, when I talk to people about a lot of this stuff, my thing is that, there are conspiracies, but it all leads to one great grand conspiracy that we're all in. All these little conspiracies actually turn into one great grand conspiracy that is truly going on. And your rabbit holes, right? We jump down this rabbit hole, we jump down that rabbit hole. Well, when you get filled with the truth and you understand how to look through that, you understand that, just like all the conspiracies are all part of one grand conspiracy. The thing is, all of these rabbit holes, when you follow them long enough, they all lead to one place, right? And one common denominator. And whether you like that or not, whether you want to agree with me or not, that's Satan, right? The grand conspirator is Satan. You know, all the crazy rabbit holes you dig down to find out this and that, what's hidden, it's all done by Satan. And that's where I'm going. But so let's take a minute to think about this. You will own nothing and be happy. You know, every time they tell us stuff, before the bad flu happened, they was warning us that different heavy duty stuff's going to happen, right? Pandemic's going to happen. Diseases are going to be on the outbreak. They warned us firsthand, and then they made it happen, right? They've been warning us about depopulation. And if you look around and look at everything that's going on between wars, pandemics, and all this stuff, poisoning our food and water, and this is fact. And we're being told that it's not. But these are things they warned us about ahead of time. They always tell us what they're going to do, and then they go ahead and pull it off. And when do we start? You know, I'll try to throw in some clips if I can find them while editing. But consider this, okay? Here's one example. We have all these, a lot of people, especially from the right, are all worried about, they're, bringing in these people at the border, these illegals at the border, all military fighting age men, and they're shipping them off to different cities, various cities, and they're telling us we're about to be invaded, right? And so you got your the gun lovers, I'm not saying nothing bad about that, but they, now you see these memes out there, and they're, get ready to load your guns, it's coming, get ready, it's coming. The thing is, it's been here. And this is what we act like we're ready to. The thing is, we're going to be overtaken, and it's because we're full of nothing but a bunch of pussies in this country, And that's the truth. Everybody's all talk. And because these things have been going on for years, and no one's doing nothing about it. No one has been. The fact of the matter is, who's your enemy? Know your enemy. Is your enemy Iran? Is your enemy, whatever country these people are coming from? Is your enemy the people that are coming over here? Or is your enemy the damn people in office who you are paying, who are supposed to work for you, and the ones making these policies and allowing these things to go on, right? I mean, we can blame both sides of the fence there. Some people want to say it's, the right, and some people want to say it's the left. It's Trump, it's Biden, it's, right? But when do we just look at the facts and look at the truth? Because you can say all the destruction that's happening to us and our rights and our Constitution, our safety, all of this is being pulled off by both sides of the fence, right? And Trump had his hand in on it. Look how much further we are in debt over him. And he did Project Warp Speed. We could go on and on about the things he's actually done, but everybody wants to praise him. And all the Christians want to pretend that Trump's a Christian just because, every one of these presidents have act like they're some kind of religious figure, but they're not. They just certainly are not. And you can judge them by their fruits, and by their fruits you shall know them, right? We are at battle. We are at a spiritual battle, and it's picking up, and we're in danger, and they're coming after us, and it's here, and it's now, right? So, it's time to choose. And people don't want to hear that, but, now's not the time to be gambling with that, okay? It's time to choose. Are you going to choose God, or are you going to choose the devil? Are you going to choose heaven, or are you going to choose hell? Because they're making it a living hell right now, and they're all getting rich off doing it, right? And who are they answering to? They're answering to the devil. We can say like, back in the day when I used to talk about conspiracies and stuff, I'm talking about way back, even when I was a kid, people, you'd say the stuff that you see going on, and they're controlling it, and they're doing this, and then people would, all the naysayers would be like, well, who is they? Who are they? Right? Government, right? Is it? No, it's way bigger than that. We know who they are. It's the super rich, and it's the demons who are possessing these people, and it's the demons who are fighting the spiritual warfare against us, and that we can't see it. It's in a dimension we can't see, the spiritual dimension, and this is all fact. And it's up to you whether you want to see it or not, right? But so take a minute and think about, you will own nothing and be happy, right? And so I want to take a minute, and if you've been watching my videos, if you're not, go back and watch some of them where it talks about my case and what's happening in my situation, right? And from that, just from my situation alone, what has gone on with me and against me proves plenty. It proves, one, Democrats and Republicans in office, they're all the same. It don't matter what side they are answering to the same devil, right? And that's the same master. That's a fact. And, and they, it don't matter what the policies are, either side is going to follow along with them. You got some people putting on a show acting like they're against this side, and they're against these policies. And the fact of the matter, they ain't. They're enforcing them. And this is where I'm talking about. We should know our enemy, right? Who's our enemy? It's the very people working for us. And we don't want to see that. All these people, like I say, the memes coming out with the people holding up their guns and get ready because they're coming through our borders and they're ready to attack us, right? No, you should be more than ready. You should already have been taking action against the people who's bringing them over, which is our politicians, right? And just take my case for a minute and the things they've done to me. Here it is. Now it has been 3 months that this local sheriff has all of my property and refuses to give any of it back, right? Refuses to give any of it back, and refuses to acknowledge that it's stolen, and they're the ones that stole it. And who are they cooperating with? Well, if anyone's followed along, that's what's happened in my case. I threatened to sue because they came and violated my rights and were trying to get me for these crimes I didn't commit. So in the process, I threatened to sue. As soon as I did that, my lawyer screwed me over, started working with the prosecutor in the case. This prosecutor continued to screw me over. And as soon as I threatened to sue, then my employer, who's connected to the city council members and the sheriff's office, my employer fired me within 2 weeks of that happening. Less than 2 weeks, but right around within 2 weeks of me threatening to sue. Then I lost my job, right? Because they're going to make sure you're not good, right? Then when I filed a complaint against my employer, suddenly within 2 weeks, then the sheriff comes, kicks me out of my home, off my property by gun force, and takes all of my personal property. They didn't just tell me I'm not allowed to be at my house or at my house. They took they took even the clothes I wear, right? They've taken everything. Most stuff I'm wearing is donated. I had one pair of clothes that I was wearing that day. That's what they have all my personal property. They have no right to do that. So here's what I'm getting at. They say, this Troy Essex, who was in my case, who was prosecuting my case, was assistant city law director, and he's now bumping up to judge, right? And he claims to be Republican. The judge in my case, who totally ignored the proof of the violations that I set right out to him, he's a Republican, right? The sheriff's office, the sheriff is a Republican. Most of our city council members here in Defiance are all Republicans. They're all Republicans, right? These are people that until they decided to act against me, they'd be, some of these guys I'd be sitting around with, and we'd have the same views and agree on the same things and agree that certain policies were wrong. And we were all in agreement, right? Because, a lot of my stuff leans towards what the right, I suppose, right? On my views, but I'm not Republican nor Democrat. But the thing is, these Republicans who are supposedly against all this corruption, they want to pretend they're not, and they're all in on it too. So the thing is, you will own nothing and be happy, right? My case proves this. They've taken me. I was hardworking and earned all my own stuff. I owned my stuff, and anything that I had to, at times had payments on, I worked as hard as I could to get that stuff paid off, so I owned it, right? Now here comes the Republican groups, the Republicans here in my county, and they decide to step up against me, and they took everything from me. And why is that? Because my employer, who when they had meetings with me would have note sheet full of everything I own, and then throw it in my face and act like I should be so grateful to them because I wouldn't have all these things if it wasn't for them, right? And they're showing me that's because I didn't want to cooperate. They called me into a meeting before they fired me, and exactly what the woman, the CEO of the company, was doing was trying to get me to agree that I wasn't violated by the sheriff's office. They wanted me to turn against the alleged victim. That's what they wanted me to do. Turn against the alleged victim who was actually trying to come forward in my defense. But instead they wanted me to turn against her, put all the blame on her, and take all the blame off the sheriff's office. And if I would have done that, I would have saved my job. And that's a fact. If I would have wanted to throw somebody else under the bus and turn my back on somebody else and accept that these guys violated me, it would have ended up going away and through my employer, and I would have saved my job. But because I refused, and because I said, no, here's what actually happened, and because I refused to let them manipulate me, I lost my job, right? And they are proving that without them, I own nothing, right? So here we got these Republicans right here on the local level. This is what I'm telling you about. You want to know who they are, who's the people behind these conspiracies, who's answering to the devil's plans. And, you know, we can sit here and cuss out Biden all we want. We can cuss out Trump. We can cuss out Obama, right? I'm not saying these people don't deserve the lashings they get, but here's the problem. We are ignoring the people on our local level. This is happening because of the people on our local level. These scumbags, part of our own community, they get involved in these things and they join up with their secret group, you know, with their secret club. You know, I watch what I say about that for now. I've mentioned it in other videos. They join up in that, and then they all act together. It don't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. They're acting in favor of what Satan's will is what the devil wants to happen, is what they're making happen. And, you know, Klaus Schwab's idea of you will own nothing and be happy, you know, when it happens, you can't blame just Schwab, you know, Schwab, whatever his name is, right? You can't blame just him. And you can blame the super rich for these policies, but who's cowering down to them? Who's bowing at the knee to these people? It's our very local servants right here on the local level, right? Because I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people about to lose a lot of things. It's going to happen pretty soon. And people don't want to see what's happening with the economy, what's happening within our government. And you want to sit there and act like, well, the threat is coming across the border. The threat is within our own borders. The threat is the people we vote for. The threat is these people getting rich off killing us off. And that's what's happening, right? We have right here, you take a look at your own community. This is what I'm telling you. Because if they're not fighting against the policies on the local level, then they're a part of it. Okay? You got my own community right here between the judge, the prosecutor, and the sheriff's office and my employer. You take all them, and they came together to put into effect the policy of I will own nothing and be happy. And I'm going to tell you about it right now. Currently, I own absolutely nothing, and I'm not a damn bit happy about it, right? But this is what they're saying it's going to be. Now the next step is eat the bugs. And how do you think that's happening? I'll give you a real good story. Okay, when I came to the judge, and his attempt was to throw me back in jail, and instead I said no, and I proved where my rights were violated and where the things were wrong. And you know what he said to me is, "Oh, you're still out of work? Oh, let me tell you about the food banks." let me tell you about the food banks. These are problems they caused on me, and they're telling, right? And, I'm not taking their handouts, whatever. I'll fight against that as long as I can. Because the thing is, what kind of food are you getting from the food banks? The food made with the bugs. They're already putting this out in the stores, okay? And, using cricket flour, all this other things. But this is exactly what's going on. And we're being violated on the local levels. And the thing is, you want to jump down the rabbit hole of how are they going to pull this off? You will own nothing and be happy. How are they going to pull off the pandemic? How are they going to pull off the depopulation agenda? Well, they're going to do it from the greedy bastards that's running your own communities. You take a look around your community and look at the people who are running in office there and working for you, supposed to be working for you, and those are the people that are coming after you. That's for sure. Anyway, we'll get into this more in depth in another video, and I'm going to do several videos where we're going to be diving into these rabbit holes and exploring where they go and who they lead to, and then ultimately how it leads. Eventually, it all leads to Satan, right? And a lot of people don't want to believe that because for some reason, the majority of the people seem like they're just maybe afraid to acknowledge that Jesus is real, that God is real, right? And that's what I'm saying. We've been fooled for so long for so many things. Like your local politicians, right? They're the ones helping all this along. They're the ones working for Satan, whether they want to even think they are or not. Now, we can go back in time, right? And we can say, how did they pull off all these big conspiracies against us, right? How did they pull off the JFK assassination? Well, it wasn't back then your local politicians involved in it, of course, right? Yeah, there, because how many people would it take to pull that off? Well, there was people in the know, but people on your local level, didn't really know about it, right? Weren't part of it. I'm not saying that, but they did nothing to jump up and question it. But this was way back then. Then comes along the moon landing. Does anyone believe we've actually landed on the moon? Okay, there's no reason we can't go back there now. We have not landed on the moon. We are not ever going to land on the moon. Okay, we're not going to make it into outer space. We're just not getting off this planet, which proves more and more to be flat, and you don't have to subscribe to that belief, but let me tell you, everything they're trying to force us to believe is they use the most ridiculous arguments to prove their points, and you can take regular common sense stuff to show how they're probably wrong, but yet that's discarded because because of the science. It's always about the science, even though they don't give you no proof of anything, right? You can believe whether the world's round or flat, but I can't say 100% that I know for sure. But to me, most of the real evidence shows that it's flat, right? And who's involved in making you want to think that it's round? Okay, this goes way back. This goes back centuries now, right? Well, it's the grand conspirator. That's what people don't want to realize. Why, is it, what real reason does your government have to make you believe this? Okay, it's not that each individual member of your government is secretly planning to make you believe we landed on the moon, or to make you believe that JFK was killed by one lone assassin, right? Or or different things, all kinds of different things. Aliens, like it's not just a few local officials want to make you believe that aliens are real. Okay, who wants to make you believe that? This is what we're going to get into. Well, there's only one entity that benefits from you believing all this stuff, because the more you believe this garbage means the less you're going to believe in a one powerful God that created all of us. Okay, we're too hyped up trying to believe that there's some higher intelligence than us out there in another world. Well, who created that intelligence? That's what we don't want to get down to. We were created, as the Bible says, by God. Okay, and what that says is the truth. And you can find more stuff to prove the Bible true and the history from the Bible and you don't have to necessarily subscribe to believe in the Bible. If you know that's you should, but I'm just saying that to prove any of these things I'm saying, we got to realize where it comes and who's holding the strings, who's pulling the strings, right? Ultimately, the devil's pulling the strings. But, so I want to, but how do they pull off the things that are going on now? It's because of the greed and the people who are being put into place. Okay. Here on the local level, am I going to say that my local politicians were involved in creating the C-19? No, right? We know that that's not the case. Okay. But what are they doing to fight back for us? And help us fight back? Well, they caved in and catered to the super rich and their policies, right? To take away our freedoms. And, am I saying that the local judge here or the local prosecutor or local cop is sitting there scheming, finding a way he wants to take away your rights? No, that's not okay. The problem is that they sold their souls. Every one of them. They joined up in this club that you don't want to see, because we all know about the Illuminati, right? Would take the Illuminati and people are like, well, the Illuminati controls the world. Well, there's more branches than just the Illuminati, right? Then there's lower branches than that, because we want to get to, like, we'll say the Rothschilds control the world, but who controls them, right? Somebody else controls them. The devil does. That's what I'm trying to, that's what I'm getting at. It's the devil that controls all this, and that's who they sold their souls to. And the proof is just there, right? That's I guess mostly that's what I'm getting at is we're going to get more in depth in this later, and we'll get down to more of this later. But and we'll break it up into all the different subjects, and I'll make separate videos for these separate subjects and how we'll get into it. But I want to say, on the grand scale, just take a look. Don't be afraid to look, because your local politicians have sold their souls. Yes, they have. Okay, you think about the Illuminati, but you don't know about the local club running your local town, even small towns, right? These people are joined up in it. And to them, to those clubs, their souls belong. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. No, they don't. They may not have firsthand knowledge of what's going on to depopulate the world, but they're blindly following along and taking orders from above. Okay, and if any of them was upholding their oath, they would understand that your rights are being violated every day to go along with these things, and that's the truth. Okay, and that's what I'm saying about just take a look at my case and how it proves this stuff. Okay, not one local person is being held accountable, and everybody's telling me just take it. There's nothing anybody's going to do about it. Okay, no one has any authority to do about it. Really? You're telling me our Constitution does not exist by saying that? Okay, right? But that's what you got. You got this. Okay, everyone and they've been rewarded for their deeds of following orders and selling their soul and doing 100% what they know is not right. The things they did against me are 100% against the Constitution, 100% not right. And they act against me, and they all get protected and rewarded. Okay, the guy that prosecuted my case is now bumping up to judge. The guy that was being my paid lawyer is now bumped up to being a prosecutor in his county. Okay, and it's the sheriff, the first sheriff deputy that arrested me has been promoted. They've all been promoted. Okay, and that's what it is. And am I saying they're going to get you exactly the way they got me? No. I'm just saying, once you get caught in their web, the goal is you will own nothing, and you will be happy, and you will eat the bugs. That's what it's coming down to, the goal. And who's pushing that goal? It's your local people. That's what I'm getting at for now. Otherwise, we'll get more in depth in this, and we'll break different things up into the different subjects they belong, so that I can put supporting materials up here to to discuss the things I'm talking about. But all of it's a little bit of research away. You can type this stuff in and find the truth. You know, they did indeed say we will own nothing and be happy. They do indeed, you know, like, it's not going to come soon. It's already starting. That's what I'm talking about. It's already starting. They're taking away your houses. They're taking away this stuff. And we don't see it because they push it into this these little things. Like with me, they're going to act like, oh, because I supposedly broke the law, which I did not. They're going to say that this is the outcome of that, what happened to me. No, it's their policies. And they're 100% making it happen. And however you get caught in their web, they're going to use it to their advantage. They are your enemy. That's what I'm saying. Know your enemy. Your enemy is right outside your door. And otherwise, thanks for watching. And we'll break down each of these different subjects in different videos, and where we can get more in depth into each subject. But I assure you, each rabbit hole, you know, you can jump down the rabbit hole of C19, right? And go down that and see who all was corrupt in that, and then see to who it leads to. It leads to the drug companies, and then it leads to Gates and all the super rich, right? But then where does it lead further than that? It's the devil. He's coming for your soul, right? It's happening all around us. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video.